How's it going, guys? Hopefully you're all happy and healthy. Happy Saturday. So this is video number 9 of my Bodybuilding Competition Review Series. The topic today is processing negatives and lapses when it comes to diet as well as training. Now, when it comes to training specifically, to start with, I like a large variety of training, and for the longest time I've always trained very spontaneously, very off the cuff. I have certain things that I would keep in my training on a regular that I liked. However, I never really had a very specific set of goals when it came to a lot of my training. So when I started this bodybuilding journey, I didn't think that there was really going to be a huge issue with that. However, with the sport of bodybuilding, consistency is king when it comes to sticking to your regiment, hitting your workouts with the right amount of intensity as well as effort, and basically keeping it as simple as you possibly can. So again, to talk about my training more specifically and how that kind of I had any issues with it negatively and had lapses. I like everybody, I had my my moments where I would miss a workout here or there, and I would get really down on myself and go, I need to make sure that I'm hitting these workouts. I can't afford to be skipping days. I would try and make up for a workout doing something different, and then realize that this was actually putting me back further. So I really had to dive deep and take a different approach with looking at those negatives and those lapses, in the sense that I needed to be more kind to myself and realize that I am only human, and you're going to have things that are going to stop you. If success was perfectly linear, everyone would get where they needed to be exactly when they wanted to be there, with no issues, obstacles, or anything else getting in their way. So I think if you're not having any real problems, if you're not seeking problems, and you're not having any real things to challenge you, then you're not growing as much as you possibly could. Not to say that if everything works out perfectly, that's great. I'm happy to hear that. I hopefully that things continue on that path for you. So yeah, with my training, that was kind of basically how I kind of had to approach it. Now with my dieting, I've always had a very comfortable relationship when it comes to food. I've never really ever followed a diet plan for a specific set of goals, so I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to react to maybe missing a meal, or possibly eating something I wasn't supposed to. But I can say from my own opinion how it affected me was there was a couple times where I cheated a little bit and had something I wasn't supposed to. And at the very beginning, I was quite down on myself. I took it as oh man, I'm not supposed to be eating this. This is going to be pushing me back. I'm not helping myself or doing myself any favors. But again, it was, I really had to kind of deconstruct it mentally and look at myself and kind of go, okay, you're going to have obstacles, you're going to have problems, you're going to have lapses. How you bounce back from that negative is going to be the most important part. And you can't compare your journey to anyone else's, because as most of you probably know, when it comes to social media, it is a very toxic and negative place. However, it can be a very positive and good place in a lot of cases. So trying to stay the course and remember why you're doing this, and to be kind to yourself, I think is ultimately the biggest takeaway from this. So so when it came to my training and my dieting, I think that was throughout this entire journey, I learned a lot about myself and how I react to different situations, and how that can transfer over to other things besides training or dieting ultimately. And that if you get anything from this, is that if you're having any issues, you're having problems, you're having negativity in your life, is to take a step back, try to look at the things you can control and the things you can fix. Learn to forgive yourself and move on. Ultimately, life is far too short to be concerned about the small negatives and small lapses of things that happen within our life. So so that kind of just wraps up and concludes my video today. So I have 1 to 2 more videos. I haven't decided. We'll see. That's going to kind of wrap this up, and then I will do another intro video to my next challenge. The plan is what I'm going to be doing. So thanks for tuning in, and the full video of this will be on YouTube if you would like to see it. Otherwise, you'll just get little snippets of it on Instagram and TikTok. So much love, and have a great weekend. Take care, guys.